Alright, so this video is going to be my top 10 movies that you may or may not have heard of that you should definitely check out. No particular order. First one, Peanut Butter Solution. 1985, I believe. This kid goes into this like haunted house and he gets the fright, so he loses all of his hair. So the ghosts in his house tell him how to make this concoction with peanut butter called the Peanut Butter Solution that makes his hair grow back. But then there's this evil professor at their school that wants to take his hair and make it into paintbrushes that paint these beautiful murals that you can walk into. It's basically kind of like a thriller for kids. She-Devil. If you ever want to see a movie that is Payback's a Bitch, like, personified, definitely check that one out. It's Roseanne, Meryl Streep, and a couple other people that I'm sure you guys have seen before. Young Sherlock Holmes. This is like one of my top movies ever. It was like 1985 again, and it's the first movie that used computer-generated graphics. There are these people that are going around blowing these darts into people that make them hallucinate and make them think that they're being killed, so they kill themselves. So Sherlock Holmes and Watson have to figure out what's going on, and it's totally awesome. Little Shop of Horrors. Now, I have a feeling that most of you guys have heard of Little Shop of Horrors. I'm sure there's like one or two people out there that haven't, but the version with Rick Moranis and Steve Martin is the most incredible one. It's amazing. It was one of my favorite movies when I was a little kid. I still love it. I watched it a couple months ago, and it's probably the best musical I've ever seen in my life. Midnight Meat Train. Not really as underground as some of the other ones I'm going to tell you about, but if you like gore and you like graphic violence and horror movies, you'll definitely like Midnight Meat Train. Along the same lines of like the horror gore thing, there's also Cube, which is underground. They have a couple ones that kind of like the sequels, but the first one is definitely the best. I actually was at a video store with some friends and we were picking out like the most horrible movies we could find, and we happened to pick up Cube, and come to find out it's actually a really decent movie. These people are stuck in this this huge cube, and they're stuck in rooms, and they have to figure out this pattern to get out of the cube, and if they go into the wrong rooms, there's booby traps that could kill them. It's kind of like the booby traps of Saw, but it doesn't have like a jigsaw guy behind it, which is cool. It's a really cool storyline. Equilibrium. Christian Bale, Taye Diggs. Didn't do that well in the movie theater, I think because it came out around the same time as some other big Christian Bale movie. The cover says Forget the Matrix because they have a lot of really awesome fight scenes and martial arts and stuff. It takes place after World War III, where you're not allowed to have emotion, and if you show emotion, then you get like arrested, and it's actually a really interesting storyline as well. But the fight scenes are amazing. Homeroom. Serious one. It's got the chick from Swim Fan and Busy Phillips, who is on Dawson's Creek as Audrey. She's the goth outcast, and Swim Fan chick was shot at school. It's like a Columbine story, and it's interesting to see how they interact together. The Protector. I think it was directed by Quentin Tarantino. It's got Tony Jaa, who does all of his own stunts. I know they say that like Jackie Chan and Jet Li do all of their stunts, but I think they do most of them, not all of them. This guy does all of them. And all he really wants is his elephant. It's one of those movies that even chicks can get into, because it's definitely martial arts. And last but not least, Begotten. This movie is like an hour and a half long. It's black and white, and it has no dialogue. You pretty much make up the movie. Like, every person that sees it will see a different movie. The only thing I can really say is I don't recommend watching it unless you're like stone cold sober, or you know what's coming. Like, this movie could really freak you out if you let it, because it just gets inside your head. Or it could be really boring, so you really got to be in the mood for it. If you want a really original movie, watch Begotten. So there are my top 10 movies that you may or may not have heard of. How about you guys post a video response telling me what you guys' top 10 are that I may or may not have heard of?